Hi there, Peter Mueller, CEO and founder of the Profit Center. Created this short video here just to show you how you can gain access to the team profit analysis reports. So first and foremost, what you need to do is you need to log into the profitcenter.com. As you can see up here on the URL, and you can spell it the Canadian way or the US way. Spelling center with RE or with ER does not matter. So when you get down to the website, I need you to click on the member login button. And when you click on the member login button, this is of course where you put in your username and your password. And if you ever forget what your username and password is, just do an email reply to this video and we'll be happy to get it to you within the hour so that you can gain access to it as quickly as you'd like to. So when you put in your username and password, what will ultimately happen is you'll gain access to your account. This, click login, and you should see the following tabs on the side of your toolbar here. And if you find that you're missing any of these tabs and you need access to it, again, just send me an email and we'll make sure that we'll give you access if for some reason you don't have it. What I want you to do is go to this tab that's called Team Reports. Click on Team Reports, then you click on Profit Analysis Reports, and then you can click on Peer Comparison Reports. So here under Peer Comparison Report, you have an option now in order to filter out the data that we've accumulated so far. As of this date, we've done 56 reports of teams across North America, as you can see identified right here. And this column here represents the totals and the averages of the 56 reports that we've done since we started this process. This number will continually go up and change as we do more and more profit analysis of teams across North America. But this has been very insightful for us as a company also to see these insights and to gain clarity as to who is doing what and how well they're doing. Now, what we want to share with you first and foremost, right now, currently, we have two filters. What I go to recommend is when you go to the start year, choose the all in the drop down and click show. By doing that, you're looking at all 56 team reports that we've done side by side. Just give it a moment for it to accumulate the data. One of the things that we can also do is we can also filter the reports by GCI, which I'll show you in a moment. So as you can see here, it shows us here all 56 reports side by side, all of the different team analytics that we've done since we started the process. Now, if you, let's say you wanted just to get some insights into teams that are maybe doing $1 million to $1.5 million in GCI, gross commission income, you just grab this GCI filter, scroll it to about $1 million like this, and then you take the high end and you scroll it back to, let's say, $1.5 million. And what it's going to do is going to filter out all the teams that have done at least $1 million to $1.8 million in this example, in the Profit Center analytics. I'm going to walk you through these analytics in a moment. So let's just see how many of the 56 reports fall into this category. So we're just waiting for it to download. Here we go. And as we can see, 13 of the 56 reports fall within this GCI range. So again, the first column represents all 56 teams and reports that we've done since we started the process. This column represents the totals and or averages of the 13 teams combined. And then when you go from left to right, we see each of the 13 teams represented in the report. I want you to just know that the reason why you see a number beside in the row that's called team name is because we're protecting anonymity. And just so you know, if you have a team profit analysis done, you will know what your report number is. One of the things that we find is really exciting too about this process, we're going to create another filter in the coming days where we're going to be able to create groups, so that if you're part of a significant team group, or you want to get together with other teams and you want to consolidate all the data into one report, we're going to have the capability of doing that soon. Let me give you a quick walkthrough, an example of some of these numbers. So with this particular team, Team 45, we can see that this is my favorite number. This is called the team leader net profit. So this particular team leader who is so there's one team leader, 4 team members, 7 staff members, for a total of 12 people on the team. They're averaging they actually did 210 transactions. They're averaging 2.41% commission per end, an average sale price of $294,000, $12 million in volume per team member on average. That's the GCI producing team members. And $295,000 is the average GCI per team member. Now, if you're a broker owner, this is why I get excited about teams, is because this is a typical or a real team, and a real team does more than 3 times the volume per person than an average realtor does. That's, as far as I'm concerned, a real team. And from a profitability perspective, from a brokerage, that is always a model that it works well for you. For if you're a team leader, these numbers are very specific to what this team leader here in this example is netting in his pocket. So this team leader nets $642,000. That's after paying the brokerage, the region, all their team members, their marketing, their employee expenses, and their rent and occupancy. That's what's left over. That's true net profit. And if you scroll this down a little bit, you can see that they did $61 million in volume, $1.479 million in gross commission income. Their cost of sales is $826,236. So what that means is that's the amount of money that the team paid towards, again, the brokerage, to the region if they're part of a region, and to all their team members. That's called the cost of sales for a team. And I want you to also realize that it's 50% of the team leader's GCI, or gross commission income, also, because we're treating the team leader like a team member of their own team. We're pretending, in order to normalize data, that they are getting paid 50% of their gross commission income, so that the other 50% can be used, obviously, to pay for expenses, which makes sense. So in this particular example, $826,000 is the cost of sales, which leaves a gross profit of $652,000 for the team. Now we talk about expenses. Now, gross profit, that's the number that you always want to budget from. You see, you don't budget from 1.479 million. That would be crazy. You budget from your gross profit, not your gross income. Gross profit is what's left over, what you've got left to play with. In this example, $652,000 of revenue, or gross profit revenue. They spend $146,000 on employees, $193,000 on marketing, $26,000 on rent and occupancy, which leaves them a net profit of $268,000. Now, that's the true, what I call the true team net profit as a team. Realize that the team leader, in this case, that owns the team, has got 50% of their GCI in their pocket already. Now, because they own the team, they actually get the $287,000, which is the net. When you add that net profit of $287 plus the 50% of the GCI that they've earned through doing the transactions, that's what gives them the team leader net profit. So this is the team leader net profit. This is the team net profit, just so that you're clear. And that's how this is structured, and the data is structured. And now we can also break down different analytics. So a good analytic I like to look at is, what percentage of the gross profit are they spending on employees? So you can see that the average of all teams combined is 16.98%. The average of teams that are doing $1 million to $1.8 million is 25.34% of the gross profit. And this particular team leader, they're spending 22.4%. So you can see they're almost bang on to the average of teams within the same range of gross commission income. So that's a very important important metric to look at to see if you're blowing your brains out in costs. If you are higher, are you getting more volume? It doesn't necessarily it's bad or good that you're higher or lower. It just means it's a starting point to see how you comparing to teams across North America or teams that are within the same volume range. The same. Also, we can look at the percentage of marketing to gross profit. So you can see that this team leader is spending 29.56% of their gross profit dollar. Don't forget the gross profit again is 652. 29 or 30% of that goes to marketing, and the average of the other teams is 23.07%. So they're spending a little bit more on that aspect, and 4.04% on rent and occupancy of their gross profit, and the average team is only spending 1.44%. So you can see that there's some disparities there, or differences there rather. And also I want to highlight my favorite number, which is the team leader's percentage of GCI. You can see this team leader is doing 47.98% of the gross commission income. That means they're doing almost half of the volume of the team. The average team in this range is doing 48.28%. So they're bang on average. But one of the things I like to look for are teams like this. Look at this team leader here. They're only doing 16.74% of the work. That means they're not cherry picking the best, the cream of the crop and the best of the best. They're sharing their information on their leads, and they're trusting their team members to take care of the deals. So there's a lot of different insights you can see here, and you can see the teams are doing things differently. Here's another team the team leader's only doing 13.66% of the volume of the team. So there's a lot of different analytics that you can see in here. It's a lot of fun to go through it and understand it. As we do more and more profit analysis, you'll see this number increase constantly and consistently. So just wanted to give you quickly a snapshot as to the fact that you've got free access to this data right now as we speak, just by going into the tabs that we talked about. Team reports, profit analysis reports, peer comparison report. Now, if you are a broker or a team that has a profit analysis done by us, then you would also have some additional reports like a team profile report, team member report, and team comparison report. I'm just going to highlight quickly what a team member report could look like, because I believe this is a very powerful report that most teams have never seen before. And in the team member report, it's a report that shows a lot of key metrics of your team. In fact, I'm going to show you a different team report over here, just to give you a better sort of visual on this. So for instance, this is a team comparison. So here's a good example of one that you would find if you had a profit analysis done by our company, where not only would you see what the team leader is doing in respect to volume, but you'd also be able to see how profitable each team member is. So that's pretty cool. So I'll give you an example. Here's a particular team where we just did a 31-page profit analysis report for, where their buyer agent, as you can see here, did $13 million of the volume, or $360,000 of the gross commission income. They did 14.43% of the total team's GCI, 41 transactions, and so on and so forth. This is where it gets really interesting. So here's the $360,000 in gross income, but we paid them $183,000. So that means that team member received back out of the $360,000, $183,000. That's the cost of sales to the team, or you could say that's the amount of money that the team member received from the team, $183,000. Then what happens here is we then subtract the allocated costs to the team member, and we have a really cool method of doing that. What we've done is we've determined that since they're doing 14.43% of the volume, we also applied 14.43% of the expense. And that's where we get the $59,000 from. So this particular team member creates a net profit for the team of $118,000. That's an amazing number. And that's the kind of insights that the team profit analysis provides. So I hope that you found that this was an interesting overview. You have access to this data as we speak. And again, if you don't remember your username and password, please just email us and we'll get that to you within the hour. We want you to have access to this information. If for some reason you don't have team reports available on your account, just email us and we'll make sure that your account is updated for some reason if it isn't there. Outside of that, that gives you a quick snapshot of what's going on right now. So feel free to go in there anytime and to take a look. And if you wanted just to get some more details or information, click on the link below where you can book an appointment with me directly. And I'd be happy to deal with any questions or requests that you may have. So this is Peter Mueller signing off, wishing you guys all a profitable day.